We have here today on the Moms Without Capes podcast, Laura Orlando. Welcome to the show, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I almost said, welcome to the show, Orlando.
You
The last thing out of my
can
mouth.
call me Orlando. It's okay. I get that all day at school.
So, Laura is a mom, a full-time teacher, and the owner of Gracious Adventures. She's on a mission to help moms connect with their tween and teenage daughters and help them build confidence along the way. She also hosts the Confident Tween podcast. Today, Laura will be sharing with us how we owe it to our children and especially our daughters to be our most confident selves. So before we dive into that, can you share with us more about your journey and how you got to be where you are today?
Yes, absolutely. So, like you said, I'm a mom of two. I have a daughter and a son, and I'm actually a full-time special education teacher. And just through my journey of parenting and being a teacher, I just found that so many kids are struggling with their confidence. And being a teacher, I'm kind of like, why aren't we teaching our kids these things like about confidence and negative and positive self-talk, just teaching all these social emotional skills. And I'm like, you know what? I want to share what I know and share my journey as a parent and as a teacher. And so I created Gracious Adventures just to help teens and tweens learn things about themselves and how to build their confidence, and helping moms help their kids along the way. So that's really important to me too, just to, reach moms and help them learn skills and ways to talk to their kids and how to build their confidence. So I struggled with my confidence when I was younger, like I'm sure we all did when we were tweens and teens. And I wish I could go back and know the things that I know now. And I'm just like, now I have an opportunity to teach kids growing up right now things about themselves and how to build their confidence. And that's really where this business and journey has taken me. And through my podcast, I do this as well, which has been so much fun.
How
So,
long have you been doing what you're doing? Like how long
I,
podcast and Gracious Adventures?
yeah, so I started the podcast I've been doing that for 2 years yesterday. So I just hit like a big
Oh,
milestone. That
congratulations.
was fun. Yeah. The podcast has been so much fun. So Gracious Adventures has been for about 5 years now. And I just really love doing it. I love helping people. I love encouraging, and just being a teacher every day. It just reinforces everything that I'm doing every single day with this too. I just want to reach as many kids as I can and help them grow on the inside, and more than just math, science, and reading. So it's been great. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, awesome. So, like I was saying before we hit record, I had downloaded your
Hmm.
podcast last night in
Hmm.
preparation, like just kind of getting into it. So, we have
Yep.
five daughters and one son.
Yes.
So the whole daughter thing, I was like, yes, I'm like, this is so good. And
Hmm.
it was a podcast that we could listen to, not
Hmm.
just like, like that our kids can listen to while you're in the car and
Yeah.
they're going to get things out of it. But even so, like last night, I listened to the episode about self-talk, negative self-talk, which is something
Yes.
I talk about a lot. Is I call her the inner mean girl and that
Yes.
self-critic that lives within us.
Yeah.
And it just is it. I was able to glean things from that episode, and I
Mhm.
know my daughter did too. Like she kind of got quiet and listened, which is not
Mhm.
what her to do, but she got quiet and listened. I was like, oh, this is good because I
Yeah.
knew that she'd, be learning things just as I was
Mhm.
learning things from your episodes or from your
Yeah.
so
Yes, and I created them because I created the episodes to be like short and sweet episodes. They're less
mhm,
than 10 minutes long,
I
and
noticed
just
that.
like a teaching moment. Because when I was taking my kids to school in the mornings when they went to the same school, we would drive to school and I was talking to them about things going on with their day and how to get through things and all these encouraging moments. I'm like, I wish I could do this for every kid on the way to school or on the way to practice, like little things to teach them before they start their day. And I'm like, what about just creating a podcast that can do this? So I just listed all these confidence building topics, and I'm like, I'm just going to talk about them each and every week, and hopefully it can help as many kids as I can. So it all
Yeah,
started with my own
yeah,
kids in the car.
yes. So as many things do.
Yes.
So I want to get into this idea of,
Mhm.
how, because like you said, you struggled with confidence growing up, and
Yep.
I think so many of us, so many women especially,
Hmm.
have struggled with confidence and self-esteem and feeling
Yeah.
like you're not good enough or you're not enough. And so why is what have you found? Like, why is it so important for us as moms? Is it possible? Like, to not work on our own confidence and raise daughters and sons that have this confidence.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I found. So when I found that's how I found I read a book and I found personal development. It was Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. And
Oh,
I just,
that
yes,
was one of the
like
first
everyone
personal
tells me I read
development books
that.
I read.
Yes, that's the first one I've read. And I go, wait a minute, you can work on yourself. You can help yourself feel better inside and like work on your confidence. Like, how come no one ever told me this? Like, I was like astounded. I couldn't even believe it. So after that, I started diving in completely to personal development and just learning how to build myself up because I was in my 30s and I still didn't have confidence that, in myself. And it's something that I work on every day till this day. It's something that you work on all the time. It's a skill you have to keep practicing. And that's what people don't understand. They think that girl over there sitting in the corner that's so beautiful and put together that she just has confidence and she was born with it. That's not how it is. Everyone has to work on themselves. And after I found that book and I found that we could really work on ourselves, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. And my daughter was a like 8 years old, and I could tell she was starting to go through those, tween things that all those girls go through. I'm like, I need to help her. And the only way to help her is if I can help myself first. So learning all of these things and just diving deep into personal development, I was like, wow, I need to teach her to do this because as moms, we're their first role model. We
Right.
have to show them how to be confident, how to be strong, and all those other things. They're watching us all the time. We're modeling for them all of the time. And if I have negative self-talk and things like that, she's going to see that. And I didn't want her growing up that way. And I have a wonderful, wonderful mother, but she had zero confidence within herself. So I was always watching this, and she was down on herself, and she was never, skinny enough or anything like that. And that really, I could I could see those patterns all the time, and I was growing up feeling, oh my gosh, am I not good enough as well? So I don't want my daughter to ever or my son to ever feel that way. So it was really important to me to just work on myself, and I'm just so thankful I found personal development to help me and open my eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Do you find that confidence is tied to self-esteem? Like, are they, how do you see that they're connected?
I do feel like they're connected. um I do feel like I do feel like when we are growing up and we're watching, our parents and getting that modeling from our mother as a woman, seeing our mothers, I feel like we are getting molded. Our self-esteem is getting molded. And then I do feel like confidence is something that we can keep working on every single day. Like I said, is like a skill. And if we can keep like doing things to fill our cup and to fill us up and to practicing like affirmations and things like that, I feel like we can kind of change who we think we are inside and build our self-esteem and build our confidence as well.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Makes sense.
confidence comes from taking
Yeah.
action to
Yes,
like
exactly. Absolutely.
actively build our self-esteem. Um, what what like where do you see if someone doesn't have confidence, like if our kids don't have confidence or we don't have confidence, where do you see
Mhm.
that showing up? Like, what do you see as,
Um, what I found is that, like what you just said, is about that taking action and stepping outside of your comfort zone. That is like huge to me. So, a lot of the times in the classroom, especially, the kids that don't want to raise their hand, they don't want to ask a question, they don't want to do certain things because they're afraid of what everyone else is going to think. And it's just taking that moment, just teaching them about the moment of stepping outside your comfort zone. You're going to feel uncomfortable and it's going to be okay. That
yeah,
uncomfortable feeling doesn't mean it's wrong, and it just means that you're going to step outside your comfort zone. You have to keep doing that to build up your confidence. And I just feel like confidence is like building blocks. Like every time you step outside your comfort zone, you're building your confidence more and more
like a
and more.
muscle, like a
Yeah,
muscle? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. And that fear of judgment that you just spoke of,
Yes.
like
And
that,
I get it. And
that
and that's normal. And like it forever until we're dead, we're always going to
yeah,
think about what other people are thinking about us. But we just have to control it and not let it overtake everything that we want to do. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because you'll just sit there in the corner and you won't say anything. You won't speak up for yourself. You won't step outside your comfort zone. You have to step outside your comfort zone to build your confidence and to grow.
right, right.
Yeah.
Nothing grows in a comfort zone. So,
No, 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 no,
so
no.
yeah, for sure. But not only
I
like our kids, but we as well have to
Yes.
continually stretch that confidence muscle.
Yeah, absolutely. And growing up, I never stepped outside of my comfort zone. I never tried anything new. And I was like, whoa, that was the feeling that I was getting. I was scared to try. That was the feeling I was going to step outside my comfort zone. I thought it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I can think
crazy.
of specific things, like specific
Yeah,
examples, like things that where that held me back, not having that
exactly.
confidence or that
Absolutely.
I
And
don't
that can
even know
carry
the
over
word is.
into
Yeah.
to being an adult. That can carry over to
Hmm.
being an adult. So we just really have to learn these little things.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said you didn't even learn it until like you didn't even start until you were in your
Hmm.
30s.
I
Mine was I
know.
read that book in my
Yeah.
40s, like young 40s, and I
Yes.
remember like just being like, dang, like I can there's so many incidences through life that I
Hmm.
felt that I didn't have the confidence to even pursue something,
Yep.
and that self-critic, was loud,
Yep.
was loud.
Yes.
And yeah.
Absolutely.
So what are some ways or some tips you can give us of ways that we can build that muscle and start feeling more confident?
Yes. So for me, like number one, start stepping outside of your comfort zone. Whatever that is, like make a list of things that you have always wanted to try and to do. And I do this with my kids as well. And it's like just write down everything that you would want to do and go and do one of those things. Do the smallest one. If it's just like calling someone on the phone or whatever it is, go and step outside your comfort zone and just realize like, okay, I'm not going to die. I'm going to be okay. Like I'm going to I can do this and I felt that uncomfortable feeling and it's okay. So
Yeah,
stepping outside of your comfort zone, really monitoring. My number two tip is like monitoring like your self-talk, because that's something that runs in our head all the time. And just having that negative self-talk and just learning to stop what we're doing, take a moment and just refocus and maybe even take that negative thought and make it a more positive thought. Just you really, I noticed that as well. Like that was something huge for me. I was having all these negative thoughts and talk, and just really taking a time to notice those things and taking a step back and working on that, because that was huge for me. And using affirmations gets me through so much. I'm a huge affirmation person.
well, I was going to say, so one of the problems I have with affirmations is a lot of times that
Mhm.
you can't even believe it. Like
Yes.
things, and I don't like that fake it till you make it kind of thing, but because
No,
a lot of times it
I
works
agree.
against us if
Hmm.
we are saying an affirmation that necessarily like doesn't agree with our current
Yep.
circumstances. So what is
Mhm.
your take on that, and like what would you suggest
Yes,
for
absolutely.
affirmation?
I hear that all the time. So I really try to focus on something that really speaks to me. Like my favorite affirmation is I can do hard things. So that's something that I go back to over and over again. I don't try to go through all these lists of affirmations that people tell you to say. You really have to find ones and just write a couple down, put it on a post-it note that really speak to you. And what is something that keeps coming back into your head, some negative thoughts that you can turn into a positive.
Yeah,
And you really have to have ones that are tailored to you. You can't just, say what everyone else is saying on the internet
right.
or the quotes you find. Yeah.
That
So
with
that's what
that
I
I
do.
can do hard things. That
Yeah,
takes me back to like that very first one where you're saying step out of your comfort zone. And a lot of times
exactly.
we have these fears that we
Yep.
won't be able to do it, or we can't do it, or something's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I always suggest is to write down the hard things that
Mhm.
you've done, like
Mhm.
kind of
I
acknowledge
love
that
that.
you can do hard things. I
Yeah,
keep
I love
I'm
that.
not at my desk now, but I keep a little
Mhm.
note, right, like a list of 20 things that I've done through my life that my
I
past
love
self
that.
would be in awe of.
Oh
So
my
like
gosh, I
things that I
love
never
that.
thought that I do. I think I got it from
Mhm.
like Glennon Doyle. I think like it
Oh,
was
good. Oh,
from
I
her
love
book.
her. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and so it's the whole I could do hard things. And
Yes, yes.
just keeping track of like, yes, I
Mhm.
can do hard things. So there's no reason I
Mhm.
can't tackle this new,
Exactly.
task or new goal that I have because I've done it
Exactly.
before. Giving yourself that
Absolutely.
credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was going to say something now. I forgot. Sorry. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. So you said, stepping outside of your comfort zone, maybe
Mhm.
doing one thing that's kind of scary, maybe each
Yeah,
day or each week that takes you out of that comfort zone,
absolutely.
acknowledging,
Mhm.
and maybe challenging the negative
Mhm.
self-talk, using affirmations. Any
Mhm.
other tips or things that
Um,
would
Something else,
help?
even this is just for moms. Like I just found like even me doing gracious adventures and finding this passion in my life is for moms to find something that they're passionate about. I know you're a mom, or if you're not a mom, just your job and your work and your family is very important, but just finding something that really lights you up inside has changed my life.
Yeah.
So, and that for me was Gracious Adventures, and just finding something that you absolutely love and just doing that every single day and just feeling happy. That is something that has built my confidence extremely because I've stepped outside my comfort zone. I've done things that I never thought I could do, like you said. And it's just something, finding something that you're passionate about and that lights you up is going to build your confidence as well, especially for moms. You need to have something. You need
Yeah.
to have something.
Yeah. Yeah. Exercising that
Mhm.
creative muscle
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So finding
Absolutely.
something that you're passionate about.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really want my kids to find that too. Just find something that lights you up inside. Try different things. Try a million different things.
Yeah, that's the key because there's a lot of
Mhm.
women who it's been so long since they've done anything for
Yep.
themselves that they struggle with even identifying like, well, what is it that they even like to
Hmm.
do because they
Hmm.
don't know. And
Yes.
so getting curious, right? That comfort
Hmm.
zone thing, get stepping out of your
Yeah,
comfort zone and getting curious about what it is that you maybe would like to try, right? Like what's
exactly.
something that you think, without discounting, without judging yourself or judging your
Yes,
your ideas, kind of just do a brainstorm of what is it that you think that you might like to do. Maybe it's doing stained glass or,
exactly.
doing
Hmm.
some gardening, doing
Yep.
something that you may never have tried before, but it
Hmm.
seems just a little bit interesting,
Yeah,
pushing yourself out of that comfort zone and trying it and seeing if that's something maybe that you would want to pursue because
absolutely.
that's just starting with that brainstorm list.
Exactly. That's how the whole like adventure side of my name actually came to be because my daughter, I just felt like we needed to connect a little bit more. So we started making an adventure list, which was basically like a bucket list.
Yeah.
And we just listed all the fun things that we wanted to do together. So we took like hand lettering classes, watercolor classes. We did all these kinds of things just to find something that maybe could light her up or that she could be passionate
Yeah.
about, or both of us. So we tried all these really fun things. And it's just a great way to just step outside your comfort zone, first of all, and just find something that you like to do.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, you
Yeah.
need that in
So
your life.
Laura, is there any final
Mhm.
advice or anything that you'd like to share, like just on this confidence piece?
Yes, just know that everyone can build their confidence. That's what I want everyone to understand is that it's a skill and you can work on it and it's something that takes time and it takes effort and that you're worth it and that everyone needs to do that. And if you're confident within yourself, then everyone around you can see that and they'll think, and because I truly believe that confidence is contagious. If they're seeing you smiling and being happy and loving yourself, they're going to want to do the same thing and they're going to want to feel that way too. And I just feel like it's so important for us to always be working on ourselves and just because you're worth it.
Yeah, love it. Love it. So, what do you do for fun? All of those things that you tried,
Oh, exactly,
aside
exactly. What
from
do I do
your
for fun? I like
gracious
I
adventures.
honestly the most fun thing for me to do is like learning new things. Like I'm always like obsessed with like I wanted to learn how to decorate cookies with royal icing. So I learned to do that. Like I'm like, I'll study it and then I'll perfect it. And I'm okay. What's next? I'm like,
Yep.
maybe I'll open a cookie business. And my husband's always like, no, we're not doing everything's not going to be something like that. So I love to learn new things. I love being with my family. We love Disney World. I know that's vacation, but that is like
You're
our
from
obsession.
Pennsylvania, aren't you? Are you in
Yes. Yeah.
Pennsylvania?
I saw you
Yeah.
grew up in
That's where I'm
Pennsylvania.
originally from. I'm from
Yeah.
Philadelphia, the
Yeah,
other
we're
side of
right
the
on the
state.
lake. Yes, yes, we're right on the lake. So we're far from
Yeah.
Disney, but we
You're
go to
like
the lake.
Northwest. I'm
Yeah,
Southeast.
yeah. So yes, we like to go to the lake and spend time there too, taking walks and stuff. It's just relaxing. We
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You got the Great Lakes right there in your
I
backyard.
know, I know. We take it for granted.
Mm. So, do you have a book that you could recommend to our listeners?
Well, obviously, Girl Wash Your Face changed my life. That's number one, but I'm sure everyone has read that. But there was another book that I loved that I wrote down. It's called The Happiness Advantage. Have you ever read that one?
No. Mm-mm.
By Sean Acor. And it is such a great book. And it just talks about how we can feel happier inside. And it's kind of talks about the 6 things that he says that brings happiness. He's actually a professor of happiness at Harvard, which is kind of
Okay.
crazy. Like, I
Okay.
can't believe that's like a job. But he's really, really good. I really enjoyed the book. I loved it. I heard him on a podcast and I got his book and I absolutely loved it. I read it a while ago, but it's one of my favorites. And he talks about, gratitude and all those kinds of things. And it's just a really, really great book. I loved it.
Awesome. So where can listeners
Yeah.
find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook at graciousAdventures.com, and I have a website, Gracious Adventures. I have lots of resources. I have a free printable 10 ways to build your daughter's confidence. You can put that in the show notes if you'd like.
Yeah.
It's a great freebie just to help you connect with your daughter and to help her build her confidence.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
So,
coming on the show today, Laura. It
yeah,
was
thank
such
you
a
so much for
pleasure.
having me. This was fun. Thank you so much.